Hey, Mrparka here to review a newer one from Arrow Blu-Ray USA. I don't have an actual copy to show you. I had a screener disc. It is Suture. Or Suture? It's Suture. I had never heard of this film. I saw they were releasing it. It looked interesting, and I put it in, and it is definitely an interesting film. Definitely an art film, which some people may be a little confused by. Arrow usually releases kind of exploitation or horror, but they have dabbled in art films before, and Suture is essentially the story of a pair of brothers who meet for the first time. One's played by Dennis Haysbert, and one's played by a white male. So they kind of play this game where these two supposedly look alike to everybody but the actual viewer, and their looks to the viewer are kind of obviously different personality, and they also are different on their where they're from in life. One is very rich, and one comes from a working class background. What happens is the rich brother sets the poor brother up. Nobody knows they're brothers after their father dies, and he kind of sets him up to die and make it look like he had died because he's caught kind of in a trap where he's accused of murdering his father. Basically, the rest of the movie is Dennis Haysbert trying to kind of get a facial reconstruction and falling in love with the doctor who performs it, and talking to psychiatrists and trying to figure out if he can remember anything. He has amnesia, so he can't remember everything exactly. So it gets more complicated. He's not sure who he is, and he doesn't really match the personality traits of this previous person. What's really the best part about this film is definitely how it's shot. All the shots are well thought out and composed really well. Lots of things happening in the background. When you watch the special features, you learn that it was shot in widescreen with some different lens, not the typical widescreen lens, but a spherical widescreen lens, which pushes things away, which is kind of how the character of Dennis Haysbert is in the whole film. He's kind of, pushing everything away, and definitely the character of Vincent, who he thinks he is and who everybody else thinks he is, but the audience knows that he is not. Yeah, and that character is definitely, Vincent Trowers is definitely kind of an alienated individual. It's an interesting film. It's really well acted. The three leads in here, I think, do a tremendous job. And the circular storyline, the film opens up with the ending, is kind of cool as well. Keeps you intrigued to see what's going to happen. There's flashes of his previous life that kind of come in here and there. So like I said, I like that the film's shot in black and white. I like all the shots that are composed. You can tell that it is an art film, and these guys were, really thinking out their shots. I must admit that a lot of the films they say that inspired this movie I'm not familiar with. Japanese cinema, especially 60s Japanese cinema, is probably one of my weakest points. But they talk about things like also Eyes Without a Face, and a lot of inspirations from films like that. The Blu-ray DVD thing contains deleted scenes that have commentary. The film has commentary, and Steven Soderbergh, however you say his last name, to go to Ocean's 11's movies and Solaris and stuff like that, kind of commentates with them and asks them questions. It's pretty cool commentary, and it's intriguing. They seem to have a good rapport with each other, and that comes through for sure. Also are a couple trailers included, and like I said, there's a making of, which has interviews with the directors and the cinematographer and things like that, which is also very educational as well. And Dennis is in there. Great actor. I was familiar with him from Navy SEALs and Heat, things like that. He's kind of a big actor now, actually, and this is one of his earlier roles, and he definitely has a lot of talent in this movie, and he's great in it. But yeah, it's just a well-shot, well-composed movie with an interesting kind of take, kind of little thinking about society in there, here and there. But yeah, I'd recommend Sutures if it's up your alley. Not necessarily something I typically would review, but I have been known to review this kind of stuff. But it was an interesting movie, and I was glad I got to check it out. Released in 1993, shot in Arizona, which is a nice, cool location. You kind of get that hot heat with the black and white, and I think that it looked really cool. But yeah, I'm Mrparka. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good one.
Coming here.
Your mind is frightened to remember.
There's nothing wrong
Organically with your brain, you have created your own amnesia.
Just try and be clear about what you remember.
At least your mind is struggling with your past.
You're a very rich man, Vincent. I'm not sure if you already know that.
But he's not behaving as he is known to.
I thought I told you that the patient is the suspect in the murders.
This is either a problem or somebody really did his homework.
Do we know what he's supposed to look like?
I must say it's uncanny how much this man looks like the man who shot me.
Our physical similarity is disarming, isn't it?
Nobody knows we're brothers.
This is a very dangerous scheme.
We may have to do some contouring changes and there'll be some scar revision.
This particular man has had extensive plastic surgery due to an accident.
Well, then how do you expect me to identify him?
We're talking about two distinct lives.
And one is gone.
What are you looking for?
It's a dead body that can't be identified.
Are you sure it was a hit?
Shot him in the head.
There was no other way out. I didn't know what else to do.